because it's so hot.
Yeah, honestly, it's a gross thing. It's not fun at all. So.
But it was just funny to see her like walking down the hall with like a diaper and a couple of master hands. Where's Vinny? I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Like, what is like? I'm looking at you and I'm just like, what's going on? Like.
All right, you guys ready?
I am.
All right, folks, it's another episode of America's Hometown Horror. Good evening. My name is Mike. I'm your host. It's a jam-packed episode tonight, so why don't we jump right the fuck in? Here's where you can find us online. First place and foremost place is our website, ahpod.com, which our blog is the bread and butter of our website. And thank you, as always, to Matt for updating it as usual. I promise I will have something up very, very, very shortly. Andrew will have something up eventually. Kat already has something up.
I do.
Just
my
saying.
God, I have something up before you.
Wow.
You already talked about that.
You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for America's Hometown Horror. You'll find us. You can also email us at hometownhorrorpodcast@gmail.com if you feel so inclined. And last but certainly not least, if you feel, our two sponsors, first of which is Horror Facts Magazine. You can find them at horrorfacts.com. What a great resource for any horror fan for news, reviews, editorials, horror podcasts, including ours, and a bunch of others. You can find them, again, at horrorfacts.com. And last but certainly not least, we are now an affiliate of Fangoria, the first name in fright since 1979. Say that 5 times fast. Head on over to shop.fangoria.com/hometownhorrorpod or use the code hometownhorrorpod at checkout for an exclusive 20% discount on all Fangoria merchandise or first-time magazine subscriptions. So I would suggest to you, dear listener or dear co-host, head on over to Fangoria and get yourself some merch or a first-time magazine subscription. Andrew, I'm looking at you, my friend. Get that subscription, son. And last but certainly not least, if you want to support our show directly, you can buy tickets for the Hometown Haunts and Hops Horror Convention, which will be taking place on October 28th of this year at the Mayflower Brewing Company. And we'll be partnering with a bunch of people, including our friends at Inebriart, to put on an awesome event, and I'm very excited for the whole thing. So, yes, there's that. And one more thing, and a one-a, and a two-a, and a three-a. Happy birthday to you.
That's enough. No, just
Happy
birthday to you.
You don't need to do
Cha
this.
cha cha.
Okay,
Happy birthday, dear Catherine. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
How fucking old are you?
I'm 36.
Well, again, the reason for this, because by the time this episode is released, Kat's birthday will have come and passed between this episode and the next. So, Catherine, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
No one's ever sung, I don't think anyone sung happy birthday to me.
And, you know, I feel like I didn't...
I feel very appreciated. Thank you, guys.
I didn't even...
So nice.
I didn't even realize that we're actually doing a Cat episode this week.
Well,
on her birthday.
Which, it makes sense now.
Wait,
now,
you didn't
I feel like
realize
it was...
because I realized that, but that's...
Is that why, is that why you
just
finally actually made a decision?
Yes. That's
No,
100%.
you're...
Oh
my God, you're
that's
so full of
You were
shit.
like, last episode, you were like, hey, do Return to Oz. And I was like, you know what? It's going to be my fucking birthday. I'm going to fucking do Return to Oz. And I don't really care what anyone else says.
I'm just glad you made a
Mic
fucking
drop.
decision, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
This isn't as good of an intro as last week's episode, but it's pretty good.
All right. That's fine.
Thank you, everybody.
Talking
Thank
about
you
dick
for the
sucking?
birthday
That one?
wishes.
Yeah. I can't even tell you how many people I actually asked about that question beforehand.
And how many people said, well, whose dick
That,
is it? And I was like,
Andrew,
fucking right.
Andrew's like,
I was
yeah,
that's
I want
fucking
it
right.
in.
Whose
So
dick is it?
the dick talk? Dick
Not
talk
anymore.
still?
I also realized that at times like that, when we have conversations like that, that maybe the reason that people from certain establishments might not want to come on, I'm like, yeah, now I kind of understand. But it's okay. It's
Because
all right.
of the dick talk.
Because of the dick
I don't think we would bring that up.
Whatever. It's dude, we were just having fun. So if anyone has offense to that, Who gives a flying fuck?
It's fine. Whatever.
Anyway.
Move along.
Lady, gentlemen, how we doing this evening? How's
We
everything
doing?
going?
We doing?
Yep.
Very good.
Excellent. Guys, it's about to be summer. We're about to, really be in summer.
It's a
Yeah.
motherfucking summer.
Yes.
After
Not how the song goes.
once
but
Memorial Day weekend
What song's that?
kicks in, it's like that to me is like
That's
summer.
the start of
Summer.
Yeah.
Yep,
Now if the
absolutely.
temperatures could
Yep.
just follow suit, we'd be good.
Yep. Anyway, so speaking of summer and the end of spring, we did get the Yellow Jackets Season 2 finale, which, Andrew, you said you didn't watch,
I
right?
did not have time to watch that. No.
Ooh.
Did you watch
Like I
that?
said-
Like, did you watch the
I'm
whole
all
one?
caught up. Yeah,
Just till that
I'm
one.
All right,
at
well,
the last one.
we won't talk too much about it. I don't think we should, because I think Andrew needs to watch it before we can really...
Well,
So,
we are
all right,
finishing
so
a
how about this? How
full,
about this? Kat, Matt, after me, why don't you offer your overall thoughts on this season? Because I have some thoughts on this season. Why don't we do that?
The
so we
season
don't
or the last episode?
season without spoiling the very last part of the episode for Andrew. How about that?
Okay.
I think overall this season was still a little bit disappointing. I think it was okay. It wasn't as good as the first because the first season was an all-timer. I feel like it was great. And I feel like watching it for most of the season, I was a little bit bored. I'm not going to lie. But there were certain moments where I was very much intrigued. And they completely pulled the rug out from under me in the season finale episode. I was not expecting what came
Yeah.
They finally
at,
hit the
at
coach.
all.
No.
Andrew, I think you'll be.
You need to just watch
Yeah, I
it.
think
You need to watch
you'll.
it.
If I had to
No,
guess,
no,
you'll be.
no
it's a-
spoilers,
You'll
no
be
spoilers,
plenty
no.
shocked. You'll be plenty
Good
shocked.
to hear.
Of all the people that I had in my death pool, personally, did not think that was going to happen. So I'll leave it at that. But anywho, I guess we'll talk about the Yellow Jackets season 2 finale
Wait, I thought
Andrew?
you said overall thoughts for me and Matt.
next week for me.
Oh,
But
you just said overall thoughts. Like, can I?
of
me and
course
Matt
you
can
can.
just
I was
throw
saying. I
a
guess
1-2 cents
I was saying I'll give my overall thoughts next week.
Oh, okay.
Spoiler thoughts.
Sorry. Okay.
Yes, you're up next, birthday girl.
Oh
What'd
my
you think of
gosh,
this
don't
season?
keep doing that.
I'm going to call you that the whole
That's
episode
enough.
now.
No.
Oh,
So,
you gonna pretend like you don't love your birthday? Oh, come on.
I think
come
the
on.
first season was like absolutely captured me. This season is just kind of fucked up. Like, I mean, it's just very. It's very. There's a lot of really messed up things in it, and it gets darker, like a lot darker, this season than it did last season. And I think overall, I'm not totally disappointed. I'm looking forward to another season, which I feel like if you have a successful second season and you're looking forward to the next one, like, that's a good thing. Like, it didn't totally suck. Yes, of course, the first season of Yellow Jackets is going to be, like, crazy. I want you to get excited. I want to watch the show for multiple seasons. It's going to rope you in. Like, yeah, True Detective did the same thing. I mean, lots of other series do
Not
the same.
an apt comparison. Nope. Nope.
Nope.
No.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
No.
Okay. I'm just saying.
You would compare
as
the
another
first season
show-
of Yellow Jackets to the first
No,
season
no,
of
no,
Mike's
no.
gonna-
I
Mike's
didn't.
gonna fight
I
you.
didn't.
My
say,
fangs
I didn't
are out.
say to compare them. I'm saying that's
Mike's
a
taking out his
series.
earrings right now.
That's a series that the first season was the best.
Agreed.
This
So
may
far.
be, and this may be the same type of thing where the first season was the best, and then the rest just kind of goes. Walking Dead, whatever. Like a lot of different shows. Their first season is the best by far, and then you're like, as you keep going, you're like, am I growing with this? How's this going?
If Yellow Jackets turns into Walking Dead, I'm going to jump.
No. I don't think
That would be awful.
I don't think because
that would be the biggest off a cliff dive.
I don't
ever.
think it could.
I understand.
don't
I
think
understand the
there's a way
comparison
that
you were
it-
trying to make, and I don't think you were comparing.
No, I wasn't
But
comparing it in that way.
I just like, oh god, The Walking Dead is just.
I'm just saying.
My
that
head's still between
I
my
think
legs.
that
about it. So stupid.
I think this season was solid. Was it not as good as the first? No, but I think it was solid, and I'm looking forward to another season. Period.
Okay.
End thought.
Fair, Matthew.
I like season 2. I agree. I think season 1 was great. It really gets you going. You get fired up. You know what's going to happen. It was all just a matter of when. The way this one, like these last 2 episodes played out, you're getting what you came for. It's all happening.
Yeah.
There's so many things that are kind of like really blowing the fuck up.
Yeah.
So it had a really good cliffhanger. And on multiple ends. Because you're kind of like, all right, like, fuck, now what? And like, we're not going to get another season at least until fucking probably 2025. But, at the earliest.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a long time.
So, but like you finally like it gets chaotic as shit. Like when all the girls they're drawing cards to see who has to fucking get eaten, dude. It's like Jesus Christ.
And then that fucking little guy just fucking
Well,
drowns.
you don't even. We can't even like spoil
Don't
it for
talk
you.
about the finale.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
That wasn't
I know.
That was
the
the
episode
second to
before.
last.
Yes.
No, but
Javi, when they just let him-
Don't talk about.
okay. All right. Yeah.
Oh,
never mind.
is
Yep.
it him?
No.
Nope.
Never mind.
His brother?
Let's not talk about it anymore. Just keep going. Let's plow through. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just say I just feel like overall I don't think the season was as compelling as the first season.
Yeah.
That's just my overall gut feeling.
I
feel like the first season I was like electrified
Enamored.
to it. I
Yeah.
was like, yep, I want to watch every episode right now. And I think we started watching it 3/4 of the way through the first season. So by the time we actually finished it, we were like
Yeah.
caught up. This one, I feel like we waited every week, and
And it's been brutal.
It just
It's
wasn't-
that longing for that.
has it been brutal? I don't know.
A little bit. I hate waiting. I like to just binge. Like I'm watching that Maid show
Yeah,
right now on
I'd rather
Netflix, and I
binge.
just want to I just want to binge. I just want to plow
You like to
right through it.
binge.
I just I
Cat,
just want
Cat
my
wants
fix.
to plow is the
Yes.
central
I
theme
wanna
of
plow.
this station.
I'm ready to plow.
I'm ready to
What are you
plow.
watching?
Maid. It's on Netflix. It's good.
I think I'm gonna watch Succession.
Speaking of watch lists, because I want to watch Succession too. Tell us about Maid. Is that something that would intrigue anybody that's a
it's
fan of
that
horror
show
stuff?
on MTV.
no. It's,
Not MTV MADE. This is MAID on Netflix.
like a nanny.
It's
like a nanny.
It's on Netflix.
Like a butler.
A nana.
Oh my god. Well, you'd feel bad because this girl, she's kind of going through the ringer with like she has a child with a guy who's emotionally abusive. I didn't even say that right. Emotionally.
Wow.
I'm having
Emotionally.
I'm having a hard time.
Yes.
Yes, that, and she's in between
Emotionally
like
damaged.
she's in between all
Emotionally.
these different. She doesn't have any money. Like she's doing like value maids just to get by. Like it's a really hard
through
like tough series to watch.
Sounds miserable.
It's miserable. Yeah, it is. But I keep watching
Is
it.
it scary?
No,
Or is
I
it just
thought, you,
it's not-
depressing?
I thought you finished it. Did you
it's
finish it?
No, I didn't finish it.
Oh, not yet? No?
No.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, it's depressing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time period is it?
So, but not
No,
horror,
like
just
today.
like a
Nowadays,
depressing.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's just about a single mom.
It's the
with,
girl,
like,
the girl
no
from
money.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that's like trying to like
Bang Brad
ease
Pitt.
in
I know who that.
Brad-
Now I know who she is. Yes.
That girl.
So the one that Brad Pitt continues
She
to
has,
see,
like, the
like
dark
in the
hair
car,
and
and
stuff.
he
Yeah,
keeps
her name's like
waving at
I
him.
think her name's Margaret.
She's been in a few things.
She's a
Yeah.
single
Yeah.
mom in this series, and it's just
She's
kind
young,
of it's
too.
just kind of hard to watch. But in the same sense, I'm just like sucked into it, and I just want to see how it's really dramatic. Well,
Okay.
I mean, Million Little Things ended series. Done.
My least. Don't even ask.
Is that
Don't
like
even
a
ask.
book that guy wrote? That
Yeah.
It
Oprah
is.
wrote?
Million
It
Little
is the
Pieces.
stupider
A Million Little
version of
Finders.
That
The
the
whole Italian-
stupider version of This Is Us.
I lost that.
Okay.
I lost This Is Us. Like I've lost like so many. I'm like I need something else. Like
Damn.
besides, I know. It's like
You're talking a
awful.
lot.
You're about
with
to
your,
be
you're
hitting
talking
British
a lot
Bake
with your.
Off.
I do that. I already watched that. I already watched British Baker. The greatest. What is it? The greatest.
The Great
Oh, the Great British Baking Show. Yes.
Those cheeky Brits.
Yes.
You're talking a lot with your hands right now, which
Sorry.
means I know that you're emotional because you're like you don't know what else to do with your hands besides like do that. So that's okay. I appreciate it because
She's
you
like, I need
this
to
show.
watch another show where there's an abusive white man and he's a piece
I
of
just.
shit.
I appreciate from
Is
you
that every show you watch?
passion Because a lot of time I feel like the movies that we watch, you're like, yeah, I didn't really like this. I want you to I want you to talk about something you like
it's
a
my
lot.
pick.
Well, we're going to be talking about something you like tonight.
Yes, this is your episode. This is the cat episode. If there ever has been one, I would argue that we have been reeling towards this episode for nearly 3 years. Ooh.
This is the cat's pajamas.
So you better have a lot to say about this, because this is your time to shine, my friend. Anyway.
Bees knees,
All right,
cat's
so
pajamas.
yeah, Yellow Jackets season finale is out right now.
Check it
and
out.
Kat recommends Made on Netflix. I would say real quick 2 things, and I'll hand it to you, Matt. For somehow the stars have aligned that I never ever in my life saw Monsters Inc. or Monsters University or any of the Monsters Inc. movies from
Absolutely
Pixar.
Yes.
wild.
So
Wild.
right up my alley. Perfect. Thank
Which
God.
is crazy.
Thank
You've
you.
never seen that.
Thank you, Bridget. I watched
Bridget, hi.
Kat.
Oh, did Bridget put that on the TV for you?
She did,
I didn't
actually,
realize
yes,
that.
Yes.
Wow.
I watched Monsters Inc. for the first time yesterday, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, come on, it's right up my fucking alley. But anyway, that's all I really have. Aside from the fact that I started reading a new Stephen King book, or listening to a new Stephen King book, Andrew. So shut the fuck
I
up
thought you
already.
weren't going to tell him you were listening to it.
No, I know. I fucking he'll find it out anyway. So I started reading. I started listening to Doom McKee.
Yeah.
Which is one of his more recent novels, and it's
2008.
read in the Sterling voice of Roger Sterling, a.k.a. John Slattery
From Mad Men?
Oh,
that's awesome.
Which, honestly, like the last few Stephen King
awesome.
books I've listened to on audio tape, the actors have not been great.
And this is making it
I could listen to John Slattery talk all day. All right. Anyway, Matt, what about you? What have you been watching, my friend?
I had a couple rewatches. I'm getting ready for my next blog. That's going to be something different. But I watched a movie called Pieces. I think it's from 1980 or like 81. It's early. It's a slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place in Boston.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think it takes place at like Boston University or something. But,
BU.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's about a bunch of people getting killed by a guy with a chainsaw. It's a really, really cheesy movie.
Okay.
But the gore is fucking very good.
Yeah.
Very good gore.
Okay.
And the story's it's almost like it almost plays like a giallo movie. It's very much a mystery. A lot of red herrings and this, that, and the other thing. It's on Tubi. There are some laugh out loud parts that are just so fucking just ridiculous. But it's a fun watch. It's worth it.
Okay.
Definitely for the slasher fans.
That's me.
Yeah, don't miss this one. So check it out. And then I actually watched. I guess you could kind of call it a horror thriller, but more of a drama. I rewatched Parasite. That came out in 2019.
Oh yeah,
I still have to watch that.
Best
that movie's great.
Oscar
It's on
winner
HBO.
for Best Picture, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that movie. That movie reminds me so much of Old Boy.
Still haven't seen it.
Parasite?
Yep.
Oh yeah, dude, you guys got to watch that. It just have like Korean movies just have such a fucking good dry sense of humor to them. And this really does, and it's very much a class inequality story, but it just devolves into like absolute fucking violent mayhem. It gets wild. So, yeah, those are my two.
Sweet. Parasite. All right. And where's Parasite streaming right now?
Max.
Oh god, the new HBO.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna make.
I think
Don't
it's
even
also,
get me
I think
started.
it's
Don't even
also
get me
on. It was on Hulu for mad long. I might.
Yeah,
still
it
be
was on Hulu for forever.
I still haven't seen Banshees of Inisherin, so
Oh,
yeah.
I want to see that.
We'll watch it together.
I think
What is
that's
it
on
called?
Max as well. Yeah, no, I have I'm kind of like lining up the movies I'm gonna do right now. I'm kind of like flipping heads or tails on my next blog post. I think I'm either gonna do because I'm trying to like kind of ease in.
What are you between?
Right now? It's between Green Room and Audition.
Green Room. I feel like Audition probably has been written about 1,000,000 times. I feel like
Yeah.
if you wrote about Green Room, that's less.
And it's newer.
My personal opinion.
The thing about
that movie,
Green Room's sick, but the thing that I think kind of classifies it into the more extreme realm is it's very
the violence.
very realistic
Yeah.
violence.
You guys have seen Green Room, right?
Oh,
Kat,
yeah.
you watch it with me on a plane to
Jean-Luc
Mexico.
Picard, yeah.
Green Room?
Yes.
Wait, no,
The
because
one
I
about
tried.
the punk band that got
Nazi.
Trapped in a
Nazis.
Nazi club in the
Movie's sick.
Pacific Northwest.
I
You definitely watched.
You have watched the movie. We've talked about this movie before in the podcast,
Yeah.
and you had said that you saw the movie. Or just forgetting.
Yeah, you're
I'm
forgetting.
forgetting.
Pretty
Yeah,
soon.
I think I need like a.
We'll watch it again because
trailer.
it's on HBO Max, right?
Oh,
Or somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
no, because I tried to watch it recently, and it's on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Because I
It's okay. We'll watch
I
it
googled
together.
where to stream it, and it was like nowhere that I had
no,
to
it's
rent
on
it.
it's on HBO Max.
Now it is. We'll watch it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing that one. I have a couple other options, and then I think I'm really gonna start leaning into some other really really hard stuff, like get into the French Extremity, the Italian gore stuff, and then there's also some other foreign movies. There's actually a few movies I'm gonna do that aren't entirely horror movies, but they're just very brutal. They're very hard watches, so I'm gonna include those as well. A couple war movies. And like other stuff like that. I am gonna do a Requiem for a Dream.
I love that movie.
Right up, yeah.
Yes. Okay. We should talk.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk.
But yeah. So
Maybe
that's
you
just,
could co-write it. Our cat
We'll
co-GPT
no, we'll talk.
chat.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yes.
No, that would be more of a less chat GPT and more of a thoughts.
Actual cat writing.
Yes.
a cat.
Yeah. Yes.
A cat GPT.
Oh, you know what?
Love it.
If I-
Big questions.
if I
Well,
could just-
I don't know, but have you ever thought maybe what?
Let Matt finish.
Sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, no. So that's just kind of a preview for like what's coming up. I like starting with Funny Games and Last House on the Left, kind of to get in, just kind of dip your toes in. Those, don't get me wrong, those are brutal movies, but there's a lot more to come. That's going to be rough. So I like doing these. If I do them on this, then I spare you guys some of those watches. Though I would do Audition on this podcast because that would be sick.
I honestly I don't want to feel spared. I want you to tell me what movies to watch. I don't want to feel spared. I want to watch whatever you want to recommend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to.
Yeah.
You want to get weird?
You watch a Serbian film, dude. It's fucking fine. Yeah. So that's that. I'm obviously doing like weekly watch stuff, but I am also like making sure I save at least like one night a week to and now that like Sarah's working on Wednesday nights, I do have that free time after I put Layla down to like guilt-free watch like a fucking crazy movie. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Perfect.
I like this.
Andrew, talk to me.
Hi.
Anything?
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I watched this kind of poopy movie. It was called The Dark from like 2015. It had Sean Bean and Maria Bello in it.
It's actually
Who's
kind of a
very-
good cast. Movie
Very
star.
good cast. Well, she's hot. It reminded
Sean
me.
Bean's kinda
It
great,
was
too.
kind of. It had a lot of like Ring vibes to it, and like the remake Ring vibes. Kind of Insidious too. It's like
Ooh, what
there's
is it
this-
called?
The
Yeah,
Dark.
Cat wants to watch this.
I'm
right
I'm
now.
gonna add to my watch list.
So it's basically like Sean Bean has moved to Wales. He lives there. Him and Maria Bello got divorced. So their daughter,
Que es el nombre? What's the name?
The Dark.
The Dark.
The Dark. What's
There's
that?
like probably 8 million movies named that. I think it's from 2005.
Okay.
I thought you said 2015.
I didn't mean to say that.
Oh, okay.
2005.
Yeah, because they'd be
That's why I was like, oh.
yeah 2005. So they basically
Wait, who's in it?
I've said that already.
Sorry, I missed it.
Sean
I'm
Bean.
sorry. Sean Bean?
Mm-hmm.
And Maria Bello. That's all that matters. It's the only two people in the movie.
All right,
that
that's
matter.
it.
The other ones are children. I don't know who they
I'll
are.
figure it out.
So, anyways,
Thank you, Dr.
now that I've
Shank.
lost my entire train of thought,
Talking about the dark.
Maria Bello takes their daughter to Wales because she wants to live with her father, so he has fixed up the house that they live in. It's really, beautifully shot movie, like, cinematically just gorgeous. It's, like, on the coast of Wales, like, and he owns, like, a sheep farm kind of thing, and there's, like, an abattoir, like, across where, like, this
Abattoir?
crazy priest...
Avatar.
This crazy priest had like run like a cult basically, and they like worshipped him and stuff. And at one point, he basically convinced the whole island, the people that were living there, that like the only way to escape this life is to basically just run off the cliff and just die. So they did that. So it gets into like this ghost thing. Like, so there's like the story of the priest's like daughter that he's trying to heal her mind because she's fucked. So he basically finds a way that, like, go drown in the ocean, and then I'll bring you back to life. And it's her ghost drawing in the other girls, the Maria Bello's daughter, into, like, this dark world where it's kind of like Insidious, where she's trapped, and they have to try and find her. It's very similar to that. It's fine. It's not very good, but
I'll watch it.
it
I'd
sounds like
it.
something you would like.
Yeah,
but
I was just
just
gonna say.
it was giving me, like, Ring vibes, and I was like, eh.
I think I might like that a lot.
Definitely
Probably.
sounds
I'll check it out.
ring-ish for Kat.
Ringing.
Ringing.
And then, so me and Christina went out for dinner on Friday night, and I said, we just had a nice dinner.
Yo, girlfriend.
We should probably watch a nice uplifting movie. So we watched Men, because she hadn't seen that.
Wow, I was like kind of waiting. I was like, who's going to throw in a monkey wrench here? But
Oh, they were
I
going to say
wasn't
like Forrest
expecting
Gump
that.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
She
like,
loved it.
We
She thought
just
she
decided to
thought that
watch
movie
Men.
was great. I was like, yeah, I can't agree more. Like, the second time watching this movie, I can't get over the
The more you watch that
performances.
movie, it's fucking
It's
insane.
so fucking
Yeah.
insane. And the acting in that movie is so
very good.
good.
Is it? Where is it streaming right now?
It's on Showtime. They have
Showtime.
every A24 movie.
Yeah.
I
Showtime
own,
because you
I
know
own
Giants
that
right now,
one
so I
on
should.
Blu-ray.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it again. I was like,
Well-
this movie still bangs.
Yeah.
Still bangs.
I feel like I need to watch it again now that I'm not pregnant, because I feel like when I watched that when I was pregnant, it was just really, really fucking weird. Like, I was like, oh, why am I?
can see that.
What is going
Well, yeah.
no shit. Like, I mean,
I'd be, yeah, that was a lot.
Really
yeah.
weird.
And
Really
I'm like,
fucking weird.
there were some
Dude, that was,
movies,
yeah,
there
that
were
was,
some movies
like,
we did while I
an
was pregnant. I was like,
incredibly...
oh, these are just not.
I saw
Not
that in
okay.
theaters,
Yeah.
and it was me and my buddy and his girlfriend, and we all just our jaws just
Yeah.
dropped. We were
It's
like,
just a whole other
The
vibe.
one good thing about the scene is it only lasts like 15 seconds.
No, I know that,
Oh, no, wait,
and
no,
like
it
I
doesn't.
think
It lasts,
differently
like,
about
5
it
minutes.
now.
Ending?
No, that stupid scene where it's just like,
I think,
Yeah,
honestly,
that's the
forever.
end.
I'm like,
Yeah.
why is this lasting so
the last
long?
10 minutes.
Andrew, the
Yeah.
biggest movie that we watched together and
Together?
Together.
spared Kat was Malignant.
Malignant was phenomenal.
Yeah, the movie was
Honestly, one of the best horror movies in the last 5 years. Not even close. Not even close. And that movie rocks. But yeah, it's definitely like for certain people, not for others. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's like
Yeah, I think that was the movie that I turned off. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yep.
was like,
Yep.
yeah, pass.
Yep,
Yeah.
I know.
Was
I
it while you
really-
were pregnant that
Yes.
you watched it? Yeah.
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 I don't even remember what it was because I haven't watched it since, and I barely remember what it was. But
That's
I just
fine.
remember being like, there was one
That's
part that
probably
I was,
better
I
for
saw
you.
and I was like,
Yes.
Nah.
off, pass.
Yeah, nah.
done. I'm all
It's yeah, just don't even worry about it.
That's fine. I don't even remember, and I was like, yeah. So,
Eventually, you'll watch it.
eventually.
someday.
Maybe.
Malignant or Men? Which one are we talking about?
Malignant.
We're talking about Malignant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
I was
crazy-
like,
Yeah,
no.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, she saw Men in theaters with us.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw Men in theaters
even
with you
that
guys
was like-
while I was pregnant. Yep, that
But
was.
yeah,
That's
Malignant
correct.
was.
Well, I
yeah.
was pregnant while this
Wasn't expecting
Yeah,
that.
that was-
And
yeah.
Kat's pregnant. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh my god,
I'm like,
why?
these
Why?
fucks drag me to the movies, like, to watch these fucking movies about people having
I know.
babies while
I know.
I'm pregnant. Like,
Yeah.
men, it's
I didn't
What
write the movie.
assholes,
They didn't
really?
tell me
Yeah,
about the
Kat, we had no idea
No
that,
one
that
knew
was
that
going
was
to happen. Yeah, of course.
I
And it
remember-
was very strange.
I was just like,
Sarah
oh my
came,
Very
God.
strange.
Sarah came with us to see Midsummer. Midsommar, and she yelled at me and my roommate when we left. She was crying.
Yeah.
And she yelled at us in the parking lot. She's like, "Why the fuck would you take me to see a movie where
Right.
you're gonna fucking burn a guy alive and they can't even do anything about?" I was like, I haven't seen it before. It came out tonight.
That was the most. That was the most tame part of that.
And you were like, maybe I had a feeling this.
That
might
part,
happen,
she
but
was
no.
like, "Well, we were also fucking rocked on edibles too."
Yeah.
So she was not
That's
happy.
tough.
All right,
She's like, "I'm never fucking going to the movies with you assholes ever again."
Aw.
Probably not a bad decision.
Poor Sarah.
Yeah, she's fine.
Well, she's been to the movies since.
Yeah.
She's good.
She came and saw Scream.
Really?
Scream 5.
What did she... Oh, she's going to come on sometime.
I know.
We'll figure something out. Maybe we can both babysit. Like,
Yeah. We'll
Make some
figure
bunk
something
beds,
out.
some
Yeah.
guacamole.
that'd be fun.
But,
Guys, anything further before we get into tonight's movie for watch list stuff?
that's all I
That's
got.
it for me.
Okay. All right. Why don't we take a quick 90-second break for a word from our sponsors? We'll be right back.
It's official. The critics' decision is in. Spooky World is spooktacular. Enter the new black hole. If you dare. Or the new horror House of Wax. This year, don't miss the real Jason, Bobby Pickett, or Alice Cooper. Phone the 24-hour Spooky World hotline. 508-838-0200. That's 508-838-0200. Spooky World is just west of Boston and haunts every night from October 1st till November 1st. If you had the nerve, you'd phone 508-838-0200.
It's America's horror theme park. Spooky World.
Don't be scared. I'm the super sweet monster with the super sweet new cereal, Count Chocula.
Biffle, here's the super sweet new cereal, Frankenberry.
But I've got chocolate sweeties for monstrous chocolate flavor.
Well, I've got berry-flavored sweeties for monster strawberry flavor.
Count Chocula.
Frankenberry.
Hi.
Frankenberry.
Count Chocula.
Sleepy Clovers.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
The new face of evil is going to scare you to death. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. It's killer this year. Then right next door to the Abington Ale House. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. Eat, drink, and be scary. Go to bhmansion.com.
So, at this point in the
Nice
podcast, Kat made some bark.
No, that's incorrect.
Strawberry
They're
rhubarb
strawberry rhubarb
bark.
bars.
I'm gonna eat. Nice looking crumble.
Yeah.
Why do those look like stewed tomatoes?
The
though?
bottom's
It's
a little
making
bit
me kind of-
burnt.
Anywho, Kat, we're going to
But
talk about,
not
right
bad.
now,
So cheesecake.
Return to Oz. So why don't you kick us off, because it's your movie that you wanted to talk about. So I'm
Okay.
so excited to hear your thoughts on this particular movie.
So my initial thought is, how is this a Disney movie? Because it just seems like so dark.
Tell you how. I can tell you how.
I mean, it's
seen
crazy.
Disney movies?
The dark underbelly.
I mean, since I was a kid, I love The Wizard of Oz, and I remember seeing this when it came out. Well, not when it came out in 1985 because I wasn't born, but like not long after. I remember seeing it on TV or something, and I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, it's such a weird movie." Like it just always stuck in my head. And since I love The Wizard of Oz so much, I was obviously drawn to it. And then there's also a cartoon version of this by, who did you say you saw?
So it's a Rankin Bass
Okay.
cartoon adaptation.
It's-
So the guys who did, like, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, everybody else. Like, they also did, like, a Hobbit adaptation. Yes.
That's the best Gollum in any Hobbit adaptation.
So it's yeah. I mean, it's been
I don't know if he makes that noise, but
it's been a few. It's a weird movie that I have always thought. It's so funny because like my friend James, who listens to the podcast sometimes, shout out to James, always said that he moved that movie from the section in Family from Blockbuster to horror every time he saw it at Blockbuster.
What's this kid's
He just
fucking problem?
moved that whole movie to be like, this is not a kid's movie. Like,
No.
And I mean, you watch it and watched it yesterday, just another watch, and I was like, this movie is so messed up for kids. Like, I mean, granted, is there anything that's terribly wrong with it? They don't swear. Like, they don't...
But it's just bizarre.
There's no actual
It's just
violence
creepy.
and blood. It's just super, super creepy. Yeah. But needless to say, I picked this movie because it has been a stamped movie in my mind since the minute that I watched it. Like, I will never forget this movie and be like, oh, this movie's so messed up. Like, compared to The Wizard of Oz, when it's all happy-go-lucky, whatever, Munchkins, Oz, blah, 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 she goes home. This is like what happened to Dorothy after.
It's
and you're like,
Exorcist 2 for kids.
Yes, yes. And they're like, oh my god, I don't believe you. There's nothing here. Like, you're talking about ruby slippers. Where are they?
Electroshock therapy?
Yes, she goes to electroshock therapy where she sees,
allegedly.
Where she sees Ozma, which we don't talk about that's Ozma until later, but it's crazy. Like, and the whole thing, from the minute you start the movie, you're like, this is for children. You're like, oh my god. It's like, oh, well, Dorothy, you've had these crazy dreams and you can't sleep since you returned from Oz. And now we're gonna try some electroshock therapy on you and see how it goes. Like, we're gonna strap you down to a thing. Like, you're gonna it's all so graphic. It's crazy.
Meanwhile, in the basement are the people that they failed the electroshock therapy with, and they've lost their damn minds, and they're just keeping them in the basement. That's fucked.
Yep, they're screaming. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Screaming down in the basement. Is that the Emerald City screaming, help?
It's crazy.
These people just losing their damn minds. There's a bunch of fucking ballerinas or whatever her fucking name is.
Ballerinas.
No, the chicken.
Ballerinas.
Ballina the chicken.
All right, Matt, you were hanging out, giving your
what are you talking about?
answer for. Let's go. What are you talking about? What?
You're giving your answer.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Let me go through a few things for you.
That's fine.
How about that?
Sure.
So, in the hospital, it's funny because they everyone's like, hey, Kat, so this is a Halloween movie, it's a scary movie, whatever. The first thing that happens when they're in the hospital is Ozma, the girl that we find out later is Ozma, goes up to her and is like, here's a pumpkin. She's like, oh my god, it's almost Halloween. And I'm like, oh, this is a Halloween movie. This is totally a scary movie. I'm like, oh, I totally knocked this out of the park by asking you to do this movie. So that's fine. So
try not to gloat.
I know. But then, so there's also all these different, so the way that this movie goes is clearly not the same as The Wizard of Oz that we all know and love, because Frank Baum had so many other different stories. Mm-hmm. So this is based off of other stories besides The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. So it's such a different story, and it's so dark. It's kind of like, we were watching something earlier, and it was like, it's kind of like the Brothers Grimm, where it has that kind of dark vibe to it, and you're just
you see, she goes back, and it just isn't what
it's not
Oz
anything
was.
what it was. Yeah.
But also, didn't they say in that too that the movie version of The Wizard of Oz, they didn't really, it wasn't in line with what the actual book was. The book was a lot darker. So that movie is what fucked up this movie for the rest, because it was a fucking musical. That movie, I could care less about The Wizard of Oz. That movie can suck it. I hate that movie. This movie,
original Wizard of Oz.
This movie's 15 times better than that trash movie.
Wow.
Whoa. I hate that movie.
I mean,
guess so, dude.
I love The Wizard of Oz.
At the mouth.
Fuck Wizard of Oz.
That's the angriest I've ever
It's a
seen
classic.
in my life.
It's like Casablanca.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't mind Wizard of Oz. I think it's a cool movie. It's interesting. I don't think it's... I'm not going to
Have you ever done The Dark Side of Oz?
What's that? The Pink Floyd thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's like one
Me and
of
my
my
buddy
things
did that
ever.
when we lived downtown.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, by the way.
It absolutely does. It absolutely stinks.
No.
You need
No
I guess you need a VHS. You need a VHS and you need the record. That's what you do. We watched it on, I think, a DVD with the
It
record.
100% syncs up. They played it when I was in college. They had
You can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have it like already.
Return to
mixed.
Oz. Already synced up. Done. Throw it up there.
I was thinking too. There's I think of other movies that freaked me out as a little kid.
Yeah.
There are definitely this. I would put this in the same room with Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure.
Okay. Yeah.
Like James and the Giant Peach.
Mm-hmm.
James and the Giant Peach is fun.
Yes.
Eddie Roald Dahl.
That.
Yeah, The Witches. That movie's fun too. That's another Disney movie. So Disney
Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That one's
even Willy Wonka is fucking
Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah.
Labyrinth, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Labyrinth's actually very similar to this.
And then what's the one? Even Never Ending Story.
Crystal.
Yeah, all the shit with the horse that drowns.
Dude,
and
Atreyu? That's so sad when he's drowning.
Have you guys ever seen? So I haven't seen this, but Sarah and her sister talk about it, and it's called It's I think Waterhouse Down or something like that.
Oh, the bunny rabbits.
Yeah,
the rabbits.
I guess that's really heavy.
Yeah,
It's a kids movie, a cartoon. I looked it up because it drives me nuts, but I guess it's supposed to represent some sort of I don't know if it's supposed to be World War II or it was supposed to kind of be a story that represented that.
I mean, another one was it was like Mr. Toad in the 1940s, the Ichabod Crane story, with Mr. Toad.
Yep.
That story's fucking weird too.
Yeah.
Watership Down.
Yep.
It was 1978. And hoping to escape destruction by human developers and save their community, a colony of rabbits led by Hazel and Fiber seek out a safe place to set up a new warren. So it's basically them kind of being run out of where they live.
Kind of like Fern Gully.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but it's there were these handful of movies that were for kids, or just I guess where kids could see. There was nothing in them, but the thematic elements that came with it, But I will say, Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, the Large Marge jump scare is that shit. Fucking just drove me nuts when I was a little kid because it's just so unexpected. The creepy setup and everything, and then she's like, Andrew, can I get a
Andrew, can I get a
sound effect?
What's his face? Fucking John Wayne Gacy is just burning Pee Wee's big.
That giant.
And he's just as the devil. Yeah.
That was a weird movie. That was that's Tim Burton, James and the Giant Peach. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Tim
Burton's.
James and the Giant Peach is one of my favorite Tim Burton.
Rhino in the Cloud, dude. That shit. When I was a little kid, that shit fucking freaked me out.
It's a fucking scary story to begin with.
Yeah,
it's creepy.
Weird bugs.
And then the Goosebumps stories those are always fucking heavy too. But that might be more on my end.
Goosebumps.
Always
the TV show.
Have you seen Witches?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
No.
That movie's fucking.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy kids
weird fucking movie.
Yeah, that's transitional horror for sure.
Right.
Okay.
That movie scared the
Hocus
shit out of
Pocus.
me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'd throw that in there too.
Hocus Pocus.
The zombie guy. What's his name? Billy.
Crypt Keeper.
No, the fucking.
Oh, Billy from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
The zombie guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Billy.
Yeah. He was creepy looking, and then so.
Oh, absolutely.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, but what
I don't think
else?
But that was I loved that movie as a little kid.
Let's go back to Return to Oz.
Yeah.
Though. Okay. So, what did you think of Andrew? What did you think of the Wheelers?
I don't really know when I first saw them. I was like, "What am I watching?" They reminded me. They were pretty cool. I liked them. I thought that was a very interesting idea because they make the same sound as the fucking. They're basically the. What are they called? Wards?
Spokes?
Of the
wheels?
the mental hospital that they're holding these people in. They
the things they wheel people around in the hospital.
Yeah, well,
it's
the guy. The guy. The first guy that's wheeling her through the hospital. He's the main wheeler.
Oh, I never put that together. Wow. Yeah. Okay, you just blew my mind.
They all kind of remind me of the guys from Labyrinth that are just throwing their heads around the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what they were called.
Yeah.
Those guys were fucking weird. They were cool. They were interesting when they had those weird metallic faces with the long dreadlocks. I was like, what the fuck are these people?
Yeah. They were super weird.
And they were we're gonna get you.
Yeah,
we're gonna fucking kill you, basically.
Well, yeah.
That's aggressive.
They said we're gonna throw you in the deathly desert. Yeah, it was
which is
crazy.
So.
Yeah, and I thought that What's Her Face played a really good, messed up Dorothy Gale, because when you're thinking
Veruca Balk?
yes, Veruca Balk.
Or
Faruka.
Vicky Valancourt.
Vicky Valancourt.
She's in The Craft, too.
Because, yes,
She is, yeah.
yes.
I mean, you look at her and you go, yeah, she has that look of like someone
She
that should be in
does.
horror movies.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, and it's kind of weird because you're like, okay, well then you're obviously casting this girl that looks like a kind of crazy Dorothy, like later on. Because if you look at her versus Judy Garland, like that's two completely different.
Judy
people.
Garland was
Like,
also like, what, 30 in that? No.
No.
She was like probably 18 or something.
Four.
16.
She was like 15.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that time
They
period.
were like
They all look so
pumping her
much
full of
older
like diet pills,
Yeah.
too. They're
Because this girl looks
it
like
was
she's
so
10.
crazy. Yeah, that was awful with the whole Wizard of Oz thing. Well, have you seen the movies that made us? What
I
is
haven't
that?
seen the one on Wizard of Oz, but Wizard of Oz was on Curse Films.
Okay, that
On
was
Shudder, too.
the Cursed Films
Yeah.
thing with the Wizard of Oz was a little bit dark. That
That was really fucking
that was-
dark,
yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. And what was I gonna say? Oh, what do you think of Mombi? The lady with the head that
Oh, I liked how she had the
interchangeable heads.
interchangeable heads.
interchangeable heads.
I also think it's funny that depending on what head she puts on, she doesn't remember things because they had that situation
It's like a
where
different brain.
they
Right.
were upstairs and they
Yeah,
were building
yeah.
it, and he's like, maybe she won't remember
Yeah.
me because she had a different head on.
Right.
And I was like, oh, so she just, that's so weird. Like, that's such a nice little, like, nuance to it that I really like that.
yeah, because the minute that like Dorothy opened the thing, she was like Dorothy Gale, but like the other girl didn't recognize her either.
That was cool.
That was cool. Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. I thought that her character, well, especially when she wakes up without a head, and she's walking around like a zombie with no head, like being like,
Yeah.
"Where's
For a
my
kid's movie,
head?"
She
that's-
looked like
that's
she
a
could
lot.
have. She
Yeah.
looked like she could have been like Tilda Swinton's like mom.
Yeah. What do you think of Jack the Pumpkinhead?
He was fine. He was goofy. Was a random character, but knowing that now that he was in like the original books, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I was like looking at these people, I'm like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now they were all just part of that universe, so it's
Right.
it makes it better knowing that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting at the end when they all did like the green things and be like, oh, we're all Oz, like green. Yeah, I know. That's just
Emeralds.
my own little
Oz,
thing.
same difference.
And I thought Belina overall was pretty funny.
She sucked.
The chicken.
The chicken.
You thought she
She
sucked.
kind of
Andrew
reminded
hated the
she
chicken.
reminded me of like the little worm from Labyrinth, which I like the little worm from Labyrinth.
She's
Forget his
just
name.
funny.
She's
She's
way
that
better.
little like comedic relief that you need every now and then to just.
I said
kinda-
hello.
Hello.
I said,
Hello.
hello. That's
But I thought so overall the obsession over having a chicken the entire
such a
movie
weird move.
was so weird that like every time it was like,
Instead of the dog.
are there any sights of the chicken? No, there's no sights of the chicken.
The fact
And
that
it's
a
like,
chicken's egg destroyed the entire mountain, like
that's what I mean. I'm like, is there some
little
sort
weird.
of like chemical
salmonella.
reaction somewhere of like a chicken egg and limestone or something? I don't know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe there's some sort of thing somewhere. I don't know.
It's just definitely-
that has to stem off.
It's like what you were saying
somewhere.
earlier, it's just
like
movie.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
movie.
But then I'm also
Yeah.
like, oh, it's movie. It's fine, whatever. But
It's almost her birthday.
yeah,
too.
I thought also like while he was kind of like evolving as they picked to like a person. And at one point I was like, is this a mistake? And then you were like, oh no, as they pick, he becomes more and more human
Yeah.
because his ultimate goal is to be a human at the end.
A real boy.
Yes.
is that his ultimate goal?
Yes.
I thought he was
yes.
just doing that. I thought it was a
No,
different
I
reason.
thought there was some sort of problem. Like, I was like, wait a minute. So he went from, like, in the wall over here to, like, jutting out a little bit to all of a sudden, like, I'm all Greg, like, over here, like, a rock man, and I with ruby slippers on, and I'm like, hold on. How did this become this to this?
Yeah.
Like, but it was because they picked, then they became ornaments, and he became more human.
Yeah, but they were failing every time, so it wasn't that.
Right,
wasn't-
they failed, so they
But
gave
that wasn't
him more
making him more
power.
human.
They gave him more power.
I
in
don't,
his
I don't think that's right.
rock.
But that's fine.
Okay, never mind.
I don't know.
Anyways,
Good reason. I like your thought process.
No. That's definitely that's.
You're not going to talk about
That's
the
a
best.
fact.
You're not going to talk about how like TikTok is.
Oh my God, TikTok
is essentially
as he's-
a Winston Churchill robot.
So when when he's they're like, okay, we need to be quiet
100%
because
Winston Churchill.
they're like, we
That's
need to be
Winston
quiet because Princess Mombi is somewhere else in the castle, and he's up being like, bong, 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 like the entire time. Like
Gump was pretty awesome too.
Gump is awesome.
Oh, he's like a dumb moose.
What
He's
am
like,
I?
Well, what am I? You're a fucking sofa tied to palm leaves, and you're flying over the deadly desert. I was like, what are we watching?
I don't feel very put together.
Yeah, I like those parts. It gave a lot. Yeah, it was a very never-ending story, very labyrinth. It was very entertaining. I mean, and the overwhelming horror elements of it are there. I just didn't. I just thought it was funny, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was a hilarious movie. I laughed
So
a
you
lot watching the movie. Oh, I told you it was better than The Wizard of Oz, so yes, I enjoyed it because I really don't care for that movie.
I'll give myself a golf clap for that.
Good job, Kat.
Wow.
I'm so happy I enjoyed it because I feel like you and I differ multiple times on
Yeah, most of the time. Just good.
So that's nice. I appreciate it. I'll take it.
Take your wins.
I'll take my win.
Little Shawshank Redemption to it when she's escaping into the river and she's like flowing down on a crib in the middle of the movie. I was like, that was a way to get out of there.
And then she wakes up in Oz.
Yeah,
Ozfest.
I mean that whole scene where like the nurse is like going into the river and then she's like in the river in this big puffy dress and you're just sitting there like
scary.
What is going on? Yes.
Yeah,
oh my god!
nurse
Immediately you're like, nurse? You're a nurse? Yeah. Like, why are you dressed like that?
Well, it's 1900. Like, that's what it was like to go to the doctor.
Well, I know that, and that's
bad.
Terrifying. Yeah.
You want to come here? We're gonna do some weird fucking therapy on you. Maybe
that's
you're
what that
gonna
means.
die.
Yeah, and you're more terrified just being there. You're like, oh my god, what is happening to me? Like, yeah, that's absolutely terrifying. But, like, the whole way how she, like, ends up in Oz and stuff, I think that's kind of a cool transition, the way that like, happens. Because clearly she washed up on the side of a river somewhere, and she was either unconscious or something, and she just had this crazy dream. But, yeah,
it's the same, like, that's the whole thing that it ends with, is her being, like, it's all in your head.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. But that's how it begins. It's like,
but that's why I was like, I wonder if because she gets the electroshock therapy, if that's why her
she didn't get it though.
She never got it because the lightning hit the building and set it on fire.
Right.
So because at the very end, that witch lady nurse is getting arrested because of all the people they kept in the
very
basement.
close though.
And the only one that died was Dr. Chenard. Well, no, not. He's very similar to Dr. Chenard from Hellraiser 2. No, Hellraiser.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's very similar. The Gnome King is fucking awesome.
You wonder,
he reminds me, like, it's so terrifying. He's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, you want a drink? I've given you some refreshments. It's like limestone pie and
it was
melted
boiling silver. Yeah,
like, I don't think you should drink that, Dorothy. Don't be drinking that. She's like,
pie
I'm
and
good.
Melted silver.
Yeah, that's gonna harden in your throat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But overall, yeah.
Solid movie. Very good pick, Kat. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you.
I had never seen it, and I was making fun of it because I was like, I feel like I've seen this, and I was like, nope, I have not seen this movie.
Oh, well, you know what? I will take that as a huge compliment from you.
Say that again?
I will take that as a huge compliment from you.
Okay, yes. I was just curious what that word was
Not
that you said.
comment.
As a huge comment.
Yes, exactly.
Thumbs way up.
Compliment. Yes.
Compliment.
Do we want to put a bow on this bitch? Do we have any final thoughts?
I mean,
I think that's
if you haven't seen it, check it out.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It was definitely not what you're expecting.
This is your 10, 11-year-old kid. Check this one out.
Oh, yeah.
I think keep this one away from, like, the 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah.
You don't want to be ruining their lives that early on.
No. Even though we turned out okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well,
I didn't see this one as a little kid.
It was 5 or 11.
Oh, I saw this as a little kid. Yeah, and I came out okay.
Yeah.
Ish. Right? What about you, Andrew? Wait, did you see this as a kid, Andrew?
No, you said
I literally just said.
Oh, right. Sorry. Mike, did you see this as a kid?
Yes.
You did?
Andrew. You're right.
Yeah, those stupid fucking cans are getting stuck at the top of that stupid thing. Just get a new fridge.
Stupid stuff. Yeah.
These damn Topo Chicas are too tall.
Damn. Sorry.
The dimensions are off.
Yeah.
Adios, muchachos.
Yeah.
Good evening!
Hey, tell you what, if you are listening here, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Good evening.
There's no
Goodbye.
place like home.
Yep.
There's no place like home.
Click
Happy
your,
birthday, Cat.
Click
Oh,
your
thank you.
3 times and Catherine, happy birthday. Woo! Bye! Hey everyone, it's Mike from America's Hometown Horror, and just wanted to say thank you again for listening to another episode of our show, because of course, we would be nothing without you listeners. If you are interested in more local Plymouth podcasts, I would highly recommend you check out some shows by our cohorts on the Inebriart Podcast Network. In addition to America's Hometown Horror, you can find the Inebriart Podcast, Bar Talk, Theme Park Legends, Retro Redoctopus, and Old Colony Cast. Head on over and give them a listen.